Hello everyone. It's Rosetta here, certified health coach, educator, and speaker, and I'm back. I'm so excited. I took a break just for a minute, and I'm so happy to be back with all of you. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. If you are returning, thank you so much for the support. If you are new, I would love for you to like my videos. You can do that by hitting the thumb icon. Please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you don't want to miss any of my videos when they are uploaded, you can hit that bell notification and you'll be the first to be able to view that. Today, I'm going to be talking about inflammation, living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. What is it? Why do we need it? And why is it so important for optimal health? So let's talk about inflammation. Inflammation, anti-inflammatory. What does that mean? Let's break that down. Inflammatory, inflammation, sorry, I can't even talk. Inflammation means that your body is fired up. It's inflamed. Something is not right in your body. And anti means against inflammation. So I'm trying to talk about having an against inflammation diet, not to have an inflammatory diet as opposed to pro-inflammatory, which is for inflammation. We want to all have an anti or lead an anti-inflammatory diet because there has been science-based evidence to prove that inflammation over time causes chronic disease. Now, what is chronic disease? Chronic disease is anything that you can be diagnosed with: obesity, type 2 diabetes, cancer, autoimmune disease. Anything a doctor can diagnose you with is caused by inflammation in the body and our body not being balanced. So I want to try and help you understand why we need to lead an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Now, if you don't know it, toxins are building up in your body every single day. 2 to 5% of all oxygen we breathe turns into inflammation, toxins in our body. Over time, that is inflammation, and you know the rest. That leads to, down the road, symptoms of health problems. So we want to nip that in the bud as early as possible. Now, there's no such thing as living a perfect lifestyle, but we do the best we can with the knowledge that we're provided. And it's my job here to provide you with that knowledge, because growing up, I was not provided with that knowledge. I didn't know anything. All I knew was what was from the social media, TVs, and doctors telling us that if you have an issue, you need to address it, but they never really helped you address the real cause of it. They actually covered it up as a band-aid with medication, which is not the way we want to go. So if we understand how our body gets inflamed, we can reverse it back and look at the cause of it and see if we can reverse it or neutralize it. Just nip it in the bud. Prevention is always better than intervention. So what can we do? What are the things that cause inflammation in our body? So there are two types of inflammation. One is acute inflammation, and the second is chronic inflammation. Acute inflammation is something like if you burn yourself or you get a bruise or you get a cut, your body is saying it is inflamed for that instance and we need to do something to repair it. So with acute inflammation, our immune system kicks in and helps repair that inflammation. It is instant, right? But chronic inflammation is toxins built up in your body over months, years, decades. And then finally, at the end, you start feeling and seeing symptoms. Now, the symptoms you see will be different across the board. Each person will not get the same symptoms. Like someone may not get anything. Or with inflammation built up so much, chronic inflammation, you could be diagnosed with cancer, or you can get an autoimmune disease, or you could be obese, have diabetes. Those are all those things built up of inflammation causes these results, and it's different in each person. So things that cause inflammation are exercise, working out. Yes, you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't know that, Working out, if 2 to 5% of all oxygen we breathe turns into toxins, what happens when you're exercising and you're doing strenuous workouts? You're breathing heavier, right? So you're building up more of that free radical. That's a fancy name for toxins, free radical. I'm sure you've heard that before and wondered, what is free radicals? Why do people talk about that? It is just a fancier term for toxins. So when you're working out more, you're building up more free radicals because you're breathing more and you're breathing harder. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're building up toxins in your body. The foods we eat, chemicals in our foods over time causes toxin overload. What else causes toxins in our body? Medications we take causes toxins. Stress is a real big aggregator of toxin buildup in our bodies. And a lot of times people don't really know that they're in a stress condition. They don't know until it's too late and they start to see symptoms. And that's chronic inflammation. So let's see. I've actually talked about the cycle of what toxins does in your body, and then it causes inflammation. So you can go back in my videos and watch that, but I'm going to go over it for the people that have not seen my videos. When you have toxin overload in your body and you're not sure how, or you don't know how to reverse them or neutralize them, and you keep it festering in your body, toxin buildup causes oxidative stress. Another word for oxidative stress is premature aging. Now, if we don't do anything at that stage, the more that it builds up in our body, it causes inflammation in our body. And inflammation over time, as I mentioned, causes chronic disease. So what we want to try and do is live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Now, what that means is not just the foods you put in your body, but it's the everyday healthy habit practices that we lead. And that is my goal, is to help people lead that anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And included in that is what we put in our bodies. I like to talk about not only the things that go in our body that causes inflammation, but habits, daily habits that also cause that toxin buildup and eventually causes inflammation. Things like not getting enough sleep, surrounding yourself with negativity, negative people, negative mindset, always a Debbie Downer or someone that's always negative, never positive, someone that doesn't exercise, that is very stagnant and doesn't go out there and do physical activity. What else is included in this anti-inflammatory? The foods we eat, the people we surround ourselves with, our beliefs, everything. It's just like a culture, and it's really important that we as a person do things that have optimally positive effects in our health to prevent. And I always say this, if you know me, I'm a big believer in prevention is always better than intervention. Now think about this. Why would you want to wait till you feel or you get symptoms? There are two types of people in the world today. One is someone that doesn't have illness or symptoms, or someone that may have, and they know that there's something missing, that missing link in their body or in their lifestyle, and they take action. They're very big on action and they want to improve themselves. There's other people that know and they get this knowledge and they know that they need to do something, but they just don't put into action. They don't do anything and they just wait for a symptom to arise. Now, if you're one of those people, why would you want to wait until you get a symptom? Because you're just risking it. It's a 50-50 chance that your symptoms or your diagnosis could be fatal, right? You don't want that. Why wouldn't you want to do something prevention better than intervention and do something before you have to intervene? It's very, very serious, and it not only affects your life, but it affects everyone, your loved ones around you. Our bodies are meant to thrive. If we know how to feed it, we know how to use our body in the correct way in an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So let's talk about this. Let me give you a few practical tips and tools on how you can start immediately living an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Now, if you're one of those people that would like to go deeper and dive deeper into this, by all means, you can look it up, you can Google it, you can do a search on anti-inflammatory lifestyle, but this is how I try and educate people. I teach my clients with small, doable, healthy habits to lead that inflammatory lifestyle so that it becomes second nature to you. You don't have to think about it. Just like if you walk into a room that's pitch black dark, what do? You switch on the light, right? So that's what I try and do. I help people get to that stage where it's second nature to them and they don't have to think. So here are a few tips and solutions on what you can do to start very quickly starting your anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Think about the foods we put in our body. Food is our medicine. I'm sure you've heard this. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food by Hippocrates. And it's really true. If we know the right foods to flood our body with, it can be our medicine because food has all the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our body needs to prevent disease. It reverses and it neutralizes that toxin buildup because of the thousands and thousands of compounds in the correct foods. And the foods I'm talking about are whole food nutrition, like your plants, the fruits, the veggies, the berries, also nuts, legumes, grains, seeds and nuts, fish, those good fats that are in your body that you get from like olive oil, avocado oil. All these are things that can help prevent and reverse that toxin buildup. So one thing you can do very quickly is, if you're a meat lover, try to cut out meat a couple of times a week, or even start with one time a week. Why not say, okay, every Monday I'm going to go meatless Mondays. Nowadays, there's so many options out there for meatless foods, vegetarians, vegans. There's so many companies that are coming out with just delicious foods that I could just list so many companies, but I'm going to do another video later on to talk about the foods that you can eat that are vegan or vegetarian that are really, really tasty and that I like. But start by doing some research and take one day off from eating meats. Reduce your meats as much as possible and increase your intake in plant-based products. There's so much out there. So what I like to say is, don't forget, if you are trying to eat more plant-based products, that's great. But remember, a lot of, which is very sad, and I'm going to point this out, but nowadays, a lot of our plant-based products like fruits and veggies are sprayed with chemicals and are GMO. And we know that GMO, one of the main chemicals is glyphosate. And we know glyphosate has been linked to cancer. That is the main ingredient in Roundup. And what does Roundup do? Roundup kills the weeds in your garden, right? So why would you want that in your body? Because over time, it causes that chronic inflammation. So we don't want that, right? We want to try and eradicate that, prevent that as early as possible. So remember, the foods we eat are so important. And I'm going to put below the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. I've already talked about this in my previous videos. Clean 15 are the 15 produce that you can buy, non-organic, conventional, save some money. And the Dirty Dozen are ones you must buy organic, because those are sprayed, highly sprayed with chemicals, and they go from the highest amount of chemicals to the lowest. And I can tell you strawberry has always been number one on that list. So you must buy strawberries organic. There's no other way to go. And usually if I don't find products that I want that are from that Dirty Dozen that I can find organic, I just stay away from it, because I'd rather eat organic, because I know what it does to my body over time. Over time, it causes inflammation. So the foods that you eat in your body are very important. Make sure that you are following that Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list. Reduce your intake of meat. Try 1 day a week, and then up it to 2 days a week, or you can up it to 3 days a week if you're really gung-ho. But just start with one, because that's a small, doable habit that you can actually do, and it is practical. It's not going doing something and trying to get you to do something too fast. Do small, doable, bite-sized habits. So 1 day a week, go meatless. Number 2, drink loads and loads of water. Water is so healthy for you, not just to hydrate, but what it does is, coupled with a healthy diet, it actually helps eliminate those toxins in your body. So when you're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, what happens is when you drink water, it attaches and helps flush out all those toxins build up in the body. I'm going to tell you one thing. For women, it is really important to drink tons and tons of water because I have experienced myself kidney infection. So what happens is, if you don't drink enough water, you're not going to the toilet a lot and peeing out those toxins. You really want to pee out or eliminate those toxins through doing a number 1 or number 2, because we know that if we don't, then the toxins are going to build up in our body. And for women, it is a higher chance that you will get bladder infection. And if you don't do anything about that, it moves on to kidney infection. And I've had that. It is not fun, people. I'm telling you, women, it is not fun. So the right amount of water to drink is half your body weight in ounces. That's minimum. You want to drink way more than that, but start off by drinking half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 200 pounds, drink 100 ounces of water every single day. And the way that you can remember is by carrying a water bottle around with you, or setting your alarm on your cell phone or your watch to remind yourself to keep drinking. But a great way is to get a water bottle and carry that around with you. Now, there are gadgets that you can put around your water bottle that will flash if you haven't, had a sip of water in so many minutes. So that's a great way to remind yourself. But as much as you can is so important to eliminate those toxins, and for women to prevent that kidney disease, the bladder disease, because I know far too many people that have said they've gotten bladder disease and kidney disease. So that's the second way, is to drink loads and loads of water. The third thing is getting enough sleep. Sleep is so important. It's not just the quantity, it's the quality that we need. We need to get about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. It's so important because it helps detox our body overnight, rebuild, and just to make ourselves, refresh ourselves, and to just turn over those blood cells. And it actually helps strengthen and support our immune system. It's so important that we get a good night's sleep. Have you ever heard the term beauty sleep? You're exactly right. It really is beauty sleep. Because remember, back in the days, if you're younger, if you go out and you wake up and you go to bed like at 3, 4 a.m. and you only get a couple of hours of sleep, you wake up and you look really bad. A lot of people say you look terrible. You didn't get enough sleep. That's because you've not had your beauty sleep. You really need the quality sleep, 7 to 8 hours. So what I say is start small, go to bed 1 hour early than you normally do. Don't do something drastic. Just go to bed 1 hour earlier than you normally do. Remember, small, doable habits. So let's recap. There's so much more that you can do, but I don't want to bombard you with things that you can't do. Practical things. Meatless Mondays. Increase your intake of plant produce. Reduce your intake of animal produce. Then drink a lot of water, half your weight in ounces. Carry a bottle around. Put a timer on your cell phone to remind you, to alert you. Or you can have that device that you can find that you put around the bottle and it will flash when you need to drink if you're not drunk enough. Then the third thing is to have enough quality sleep. Sleep is so important, 7 to 8 hours. Try and increase your sleep by 1 hour very slowly. You have to master, or you have to be able to get these habits going on a consistent basis before you can start other habits. We're all human. I'm human as well. Old habits are hard to break and new habits are hard to incorporate. So go slowly, small, doable habits. This is a great way to start an anti-inflammatory diet, lifestyle and diet. So everyone, I hope you got some information from you. And this is what I love to promote. Prevention is always better than prevention, can't even talk, is always better than intervention. Yes, it is. Remember, just think about this. If you are not caring about your health and your lifestyle, close your eyes and think about what it would be like if you had started getting symptoms and you went to the doctor's office and they diagnosed you with a disease or some kind of health problem. How would you feel? It's not only you that get affected. You're thinking about your family, your loved ones, your kids, your husband, your mother, your father. Think about it. What would it be like to be in that doctor's office? So before you get to that point, you can most definitely prevent. And even if you're a chronic state or you have health problems, you can start today to do something about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this. My goal is to give you the knowledge so that you can take that knowledge and do something with it. Knowledge is power, and I hope you learned something new today. If you like my video, please hit that thumb icon. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm going to be talking a lot more about an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, and I'm going to give you practical, easy, doable habits that you can do on a daily basis. So it starts to become second nature to you. This is what I love to help my clients with, and I live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. So now you know a little bit. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification if you don't want to miss any of my videos, and your health matters. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye.